Something wonderful is happening to me right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I accept things the way they are. I accept things the way they are not. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I love wasting. I love wasting. I get free. I reap abundantly. I already have everything I need. Wonderful is happening to me right now. Don't you feel it? Something wonderful is happening to me right now. Oh yeah, I accept things the way they are. I will. I accept things the way they are not. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Welcome to the center. Would you like a program?
Good morning. Say we made it to the house this morning. Wave.
We are celebrating the 5th day of Lent. And excuse me. Lent, which also we say, let's eliminate negative thinking. The 40 days of Lent began March 1st in conjunction with our traditional Christian friends. We are choosing to eliminate negative thinking and create a more positive life. To assist us in the process, this year we are using Dr. Kathy Ann Lewis's book, 40 Days to Freedom. That's available in our bookstore for only $14. This is what it looks like. We believe that this day is a daily commitment of reading and affirmations that will elevate consciousness and serve as preparatory time for the day of renewal. Easter Sunday, April 16th. Each Sunday we will share during our prayer time together these words of enlightenment. Should you have any questions, please call the office Monday through Thursday, 10 to 3 p.m. God works in truth. Today I will tell myself the truth, and only the truth, and the truth shall set me free. Now, if you'll please close your eyes with me and allow those words of truth and freedom and eliminating negative thinking to simply resonate in your hearts. So we take a nice, deep, beautiful breath, that God-given breath. As we take it in, take in the beauty of this wonderful sacred sanctuary with all its love. And allow yourself to release yourself of all negativity, all the stress that happens during the week. Just let it go. And be here in the present right now. And feel that oneness of God that resides in this sanctuary. And for the next 40 days, allow that to become a habit. of every time a negative thought comes in, just remember Lent. Remember letting go of negative thinking and reframe that thought. Reframe it to peace and love and the present moment, which is really all we ever have. Namaste.
I invite everyone to be comfortable in their seats for a brief moment. Take a deep breath, inhale the love, exhale the beauty. Inhale the joy, exhale the wisdom. And I know right here, right now, that there's only one power, there's one presence. That power is God, that life is God, that life is my life, right here, right now. These words are true for me and each and every person in the center this morning. I give thanks. I say welcome. Welcome to any visitors who've come to our center this morning. I say welcome to all our members who are returning. I say peace and blessings to any member who couldn't make it this morning for whatever reason, whatever health challenges they might have. I say peace. I know that the divine present, divine order, right action prevails. Our center. The love and beauty and joy will be experienced this morning, will be inspiring. I give thanks to our ministers. I give thanks to our ministry of prayer team, all our musicians, our technicians, our ushers, our volunteers. We know, I know, right here, right now, that joy and health and happiness is the order of the day. With gratitude and joy, it's just overwhelming, the love and beauty that it will be experienced this morning. God is good all the time. And like Tina said, I eliminate negative thinking, not only today, but tomorrow and the entire year. And as we spring into this new season that's about to come, we know we spring into a life of happiness, beauty, and there's no worry, no doubt, no fear. Anger dissipates, no resentments. I am blessed, the congregation is blessed. It's a wonderful feeling, and with gratitude and thanks, I release my word to the Lord, knowing, like always, He returns to me, fulfilled and done. It is always done, and I say thanks, thanks, thanks. And join me in saying, and so it is.
So the title of my talk today is Reachable and Teachable. And it sort of started with me one day being at Home Depot, because I look like a Home Depot man. And I noticed a beautiful queen palm tree that was on sale. And even though winter was about to begin, I decided that I would buy it. And I was concerned that it was too cold to transplant it. So I left the little tree in the little pot that I purchased it in. And what I noticed over time, it shorted out. We good? No? Okay. Yeah, okay. So what I noticed over time was that the little tree, she wasn't doing so well. And I was a little baffled by that because she was getting water daily, she had plenty of sunshine and fresh air. And so as time went on, I do what we do in the modern age, and I went to the internet. And this is what I discovered. An article from the San Francisco Gate. And I quote, "Potted trees, even those that live in very large planters, can't stay in the same container forever." Sort of like human beings. No matter how large the planter you use for your tree, the roots will become tangled inside the container. This is called becoming root bound and can have serious consequences for the tree. Now listen to this part. This is like when gardeners become passionate, I guess. Take care of the roots in a ruthless fashion, and the tree will grow back with renewed vigor. Now, the easiest way to find out if your potted tree is root bound is to grasp it by the trunk and pull upward. If the entire root ball comes out of the pot and all you see are strands and swirls that are formed around the entire root ball, you have a root-bound tree. Goes on to say, if you leave a tree to be root-bound in a pot, no matter how large, eventually bad symptoms will occur. The leaves will begin to wilt, no matter how frequently you water the plant. After the leaves wilt, they'll begin to fall off. The tree will refuse to grow. It'll stop producing new branches or creating new leaves. The trunk and the branches will dry up, reducing the amount of moisture available to any remaining leaves. Eventually, the entire potted tree will die. Now, the cure to a root-bound potted tree may seem ruthless, but it's all for the good of the tree. Water the entire root ball root ball 24 hours before proceeding. After the root ball is soaked, and you're like, what in the hell? Where are we going with the big root ball? You know, I am starting to wonder that myself. So listen now. Pay attention. So after the root ball is soaked, pull it out from the planter and begin to unwind the roots from the ball and cut off the long ends. Now, I found this very interesting. Use a sharp knife to make a series of vertical slits, much as you would slice a cake. And you do that all around the perimeter of the root ball. This slices the wound up roots into pieces, leaving only the strongest short root ends. Transplant your tree into a new, larger pot or outdoors in a protected area. The root ends will grow new, stronger roots, and the plant will revive. Now, isn't that a happy little ending right there? So, following these guidelines, I became ruthless. A ruthless gardener, I tell you. And I transplanted my little beautiful queen palm tree into a new lovely home in a planter outside. And as I was doing that, because God and I have been working on this talk, God said, now what if that little tree was not reachable or teachable? Now, Reverend, what would happen if when you said to the little tree, why, little tree, we have to transfer you into a new planter? And the little tree refused. See, what would happen if the little tree said, no, no, no. I like my little ball of roots. I like my little pot. I do not like change. And besides, I know what's best for me. So just leave me alone. So what would happen to the little tree, Reverend Dan? I said, well, according to the ruthless gardener, she would die. And I started to think about that some more. And it reminded me of how we can get sometimes about some things in our lives. And I had to begin to explore for myself and for others, are we really reachable and teachable? When the universe starts to talk about transplanting us. So let me ask this another way. When we look at our lives, is there any part of your life that's not working? Is there any part of our lives that hasn't worked for a long time? Maybe our thoughts and our beliefs have become so root-bound. So root-bound that the pot of our experience is so small. It's so confining. And we seem to feel like we're stuck and we're not growing and we're not blooming. We just feel like one big, tight, frustrating ball. And the whole time, the universe is calling out to us. Sometimes we hear it and ignore it. And sometimes we're just too busy to hear it. Remember what Rumi, the great mystic, said, God speaks the voice of silence. And the universe is saying, now come on, my beautiful child. You're a child of the universe. You were meant to bloom. You were meant to have a life that was big and blooming and colorful. Let's work together. Let's get ruthless. Let's cut up this ball of thinking. Let's get you a bigger pot for your experience. And sometimes we say, no, 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 no. I can't change. Do you know how old I am? And I like my little root ball. And I like my little pot. May not be much, but it's mine. And I don't like change. And besides, God of the all-knowing universe, I know what's best for me. Leave me alone. Have you ever done that? Or do you just listen to God every time and do what God says? Because God and I have a colorful history. So I thought about some aspects of life that as a minister and a practitioner and just as a person that I hear a lot of talk about. And one of the aspects of life, regardless of what's going on in life, there is one aspect of life that is always on people's minds. And it's an area that we seem to wrestle with. And that's the area of the idea of the energy that we call money. And does our thinking maybe look like this when it comes to abundance and wealth and the life that we want to live? I mean, does our abundance, our experience, look like this? Does the pot seem too small? And maybe, just maybe, we've all, hey, listen, I'm sure that all of us have done many of the things that you thought teach us about abundance. And yet, because sometimes I think I'm the most workshopped person I know. I was going to say classy person. We all know that. Cheryl will correct me on that. I may not be classy, but I'm classed. I got a lot of classes, a lot of workshops, a lot of seminars. I should just be able to go home and throw all my millions on the floor and cover myself naked in Vaseline and roll around in my money and run through the neighborhood. That's how rich I should be. Yeah, that's a visual to take home with you. So why aren't we seeing it at that kind of level? Maybe it's time for us to follow the lead of the universal gardener and get ruthless with our thinking. We've got to start cutting the roots of lack and limitation. And so as this is kind of unfolding, I'm dialoguing with the God of my being, I said, you know what? I'm ready. I'm ready to take my abundance quotient to a new level. I'm ready for a bigger pot. I'm ready to go to the next level. I'm ready to be ruthless in my thinking. Let's get to it. And so I'm going to share with you what the divine has been showing me over the last several weeks. And I think it's very powerful. And I think it's worth exploring as a group. Now, this is my story. And this may not resonate with you. And that's okay. But for those who can connect, this may just be our answer. Okay. And the reason that I wanted to talk about money today, I found it really interesting as I was praying about this. We have many, many different relationships in life. And yet what I found was our relationship with money is so intense. And the other part of that relationship is oftentimes is very anxious. So I think it's time for us to build a new relationship with money. Something that is more confident. A relationship that's strong. A relationship that is serene. So, I'm walking through the halls of MV Energy. And when Warren Buffett purchased MV Energy, his number one commitment was to improve customer service. The employee customer service. And it was his highest priority, and he brought in my boss, Michelle Follett, Vice President of Customer Service. And she insisted that the entire customer contact area be completely renovated. And she wanted it done in such a way that employees could work with employees could work with customers, employees could work with technology to bring superior service to MV Energy. And just like everything else she does, you should see this new area. It is magnificent. And while all of this was going on, I was walking through the building and you could see the construction workers and the engineers. And there were telecommunications specialists. There were technology and computer specialists. There were electricians and painters and movers. And as I watched this activity, I said to myself, God, I love money. Ooh. And the God of my being stopped me right in my tracks. And God said, and that is why you've had such an unusual relationship with money, Reverend Dan. Because if you really explore this idea, Reverend Dan, you don't love money, you love what money can do. And God said, when if we work on this together and we can change your consciousness about this, everything that you have ever known or thought about wealth and abundance will change. Because you see, money has no power of its own. What is money? It's a piece of paper. It's printed paper. Reverend Dan, the Holy Scriptures, they do not say money is the root of all evil. How could that be? It's a piece of printed paper. What the Holy Scriptures do say is the love of money is the root of all evil. And the reason that is true is that we form a relationship with money. People begin to believe that money in and of itself has power. That money is the source of their good. So God said, this is what I want you to see. I want you to see that money is a how. And what money can do and what money can produce is a what. Now, Reverend Dan, in the classes you teach, tell me what you say about manifesting. Well, I say that it's up to me to know what I want, and it's up to God to figure out how to bring me what I want. God said, you know, Dan, you really never really wanted money for the sake of just having money. You wanted money because you wanted something in your life. You wanted to make something happen in your life. But the problem is that you pursued money to figure out how to get what you want. And God said, when we are trying to acquire money so we can figure out how to get what we want, we have the equation mixed up. It ain't your job to figure out how to get what you want. It's God's job to figure out the how. Your job is to figure out the what. Now there's a very fine line here. There's a very fine line between what and how. But Reverend Dan, your whole life, you have been focused on how to bring about money. Which means you have literally been doing the law's job. You think about money. You focus on the money. You stress about the money. And all money is a means of how to get what you want. You are way over here. And you, Reverend Dan, have spent very little time knowing, being clear about, and focusing on what you want. And your life has been a reflection of dabbling in the how and never really doing the real work of knowing what you want. And your life speaks volumes of you playing in the wrong arena. And so God said, because that was a little depressing, God said, are you willing to be ruthless in your thinking? Are you reachable and are you teachable? And unfortunately, I said yes. Kidding. And then the God of my being said, well, here's your new challenge, Dan. Here's the challenge I have for you. I want you to get out of the way of your abundance coming into your life. Which means I want you to stop thinking about money. I want you to stop thinking about money. And instead, I want you to begin to think about what you want. I want you to think about what you want your life to look like. Open your mind. Use your imagination. Connect with the God of your being and become clear about what you want. And let God figure out how to bring it to you. You know, God will figure it out. God will figure it out. And by the way, if money is part of the equation, God will bring that forth. Let God do its job. You do your job. And God said, are you willing to allow it? I said, well, no. Because I'm a doer. I do things. I don't sit back and allow. God said, you must learn to allow. And I said, well, I don't know how to begin that journey. And God said, learn to allow. So I began to do research. And I came across a wonderful article on Oprah.com. And it was called The Art of Allowing by Mike Robbins. It says this: the first aspect of allowing has to do with accepting things as they are. When you're able to allow people, things, and situations to be as they are, without judging them, trying to fix them, or wanting to change them, you begin to tap into the immense power of allowing. Ironically and somewhat paradoxically, when you truly allow things and people to be exactly as they are, you open up a space for real change and transformation to occur. So, Mr. Robbins says, first and foremost, we need to accept and allow our current situation. And I thought about that, and I think about it for all of us. I gotta relax. God, it's okay. You know what? We've lived a lot of years. And you know what? We've done a lot of things right. We've even sometimes done some things right with money. My God, we've made it to be here today. I mean, I would say that if we're here today, we've done some pretty successful living. Now, the reason that's so important, the reason it's so important to be okay with the way things are now, is the other option is to start looking at our current situation, focus on our current money situation, get frustrated, get anxious, be disappointed about how much money we don't have. I should have more. Worked all these years, should have more. Should have done it right. Should have done this. Some people have more money, I have less money. Never seems to be enough. Those thoughts typically are lifelong, very intense, high energy thoughts. And we can never forget that we are surrounded by this amazing, powerful law that is going to take these thoughts and create something with them. And I can guarantee that what the law creates for you is going to be a a whole bunch more of what you've already got. You've got to come to peace, to be okay. Now, we're in a place where we can start to think without thinking about money. We can begin to think about what we want. We can begin to take time every day in solitude and in quiet to paint the picture of the lives we want. And then, according to what we learn here, we get to sit back and trust the process. Now, Mr. Robbins goes on in his article, the deeper aspect of allowing has to do with trusting, being patient, and having faith that what you want to manifest, create, and experience can and will show up in your life as it is meant to. In other words, it's an ability to allow things to happen and materialize without you having to manipulate, dominate, or control other people or situations to make them happen. If you have a tendency to be a control freak, this can be incredibly challenging. The paradox that exists with allowing runs deep within you. Perhaps you were taught and believe, if it's to be, it's up to me. And while this is truth and wisdom, and there's truth and wisdom in this philosophy, feeling as though you have to work hard, run fast, keep up, and make everything happen in your life is exhausting and insatiable. Now I want you to hear this next part. No matter how hard you work, what you try to fix, or all of the changes you intend to make, if you don't learn, practice, and ultimately master the art of allowing, true success and fulfillment will always elude you. Action is important, but you also have to learn to balance it out with your ability to allow. We are human beings, not human doings. Now, I want to emphasize that starting now, I don't want you to stop doing everything. Because see, like if I, after reading that, called my boss and said, hey, listen, read the best article ever. You can trust Oprah, the big O. Well, listen, I'm staying home to allow today. As a matter of fact, I may not be in for a week or so because I really want to get this allowing thing done. My boss would say, well, why don't you allow yourself to come here and get your last check? We don't just stop doing, but we begin to find the balance between doing and allowing. So we begin to balance doing and allowing, and we become clear about what we want. We become clear about what we want our lives to look like, which creates a mold for the universe to fill. And then we begin to practice allowing. And what is allowing? Allowing is giving the God of the universe, I know, not according to your timetable, but giving God the time and the space and the grace to bring you what you want. There are times that God needs a little time. And if we learn to do that, we can watch how God brings what we want into our lives. And money will come with that. Because you're on the right side of your equation now. You know, there's that old saying, do what you love and the money will follow. Do what you love and the money will follow. And that implies three things. Do what you love. Well, that means you need to know what you love. You know what you want. Do what you love, which means you are also doing your part. And then thirdly, do what you love and the money will follow. Well, that means that you are in a place where you are allowing God to bring the ways and the means necessary to support your dreams and your aspirations. So, would you like to join me in not worrying about money?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What if we just didn't worry about the money? And we focused in joy on what we want. And we let the universe figure out the rest. Let the universe figure out the rest. What I find very interesting is, as I look back at my life, all those incredibly difficult challenges, all the crap I created, all the stuff that I seemingly was not going to survive through. When I prayed about it, and I allowed the universe to help me, well, what do you know? It happened. But instead of creating a bunch of crap, and creating all this stuff, and then calling out to God for help, I'm thinking I'm going to sit back and figure out what I want and be focused on that and let God figure out how to bring it, and I am just going to chill and enjoy the ride. And I hope you come with me. Namaste.
We want to show you a video we're part of that we created, not just us, but all of CSL, instead of the peace song. So let's look at that.
In the name of love, with a heart of grace, overflow in us, decorate this place, as it is below, so it is above. May we always stand in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one. In the name of love,
And so let us all take a deep collective breath. And let that remind us what we have in common. That we all breathe the same air. Because it's only one. There is only one power, one energy, one essence, one life. And it is God's life. And it is my life now. And it is the life of each and every person in this room. And so I celebrate that truth. And I just give thanks for this teaching. I give thanks for this center. I give thanks for Reverend Cynthia and Dr. Tom, who paved the way for this center to be here. I give thanks for each person that makes today happen. All our volunteers and our musicians, our technicians, the teachers, hospitality. And most of all, I give thanks for each and every one of you who comes here bringing the magnificence to this place. I just know that each and every person arrives to their destination safely, and that each person here has an amazing week. So I give thanks, and together we say, and so it is.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
I know this in my mind.
I know this in my mind.
I feel this in my body.
I feel this in my body.
And so it is.
And so it is.